Okay, we will start straight away with our lecturate. Gayatri, you are ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jay, keep time.
Okay, sir. Wait just a second.
Let me know when can I start.
Okay. You can start now.
So good evening, everyone. The topic for my today's lecturate is Indo-Pakistan relationship. So Indo-Pakistan relationship basically refers to the bilateral ties between the Republic of India and the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. As we all know that the two countries have a very complex and largely hostile relationships which are deep rooted in the multitude of the historical and the political events. The most notable among it is the partition of the British India in August 1947. So, 2 years after the World War II, the UK formally dissolved the British India, and it was divided into two sovereign nations by the Radcliffe Line. And India and Pakistan have fought many wars, like the Indo-Pak War of 1948, also known as the First Kashmir War, the Indo-Pak War of 1965, and also 1971. The Indian Armed Forces also carried out many operations like Operation Siachen and Operation Vijay during these wars. The Indian Navy also played a very significant role during these operations as it launched an offensive operation on the Pakistan's port city of Karachi. And also, time and again, we have seen many terrorist attacks on the Pakistani side, be it the Mumbai attack of 2008, the Pulwama attack, the Pathankot attack, the Uri attack, or the radicalization of Jammu and Kashmir, or the killings of Kashmiri Pandits. And India, from its side, has given a very befitting reply to Pakistan in the form of airstrikes. The most famous among it is the Balakot airstrike. Also, there have been many disputes among both the nations. An example of it is the Sir Crack issue. So, Sir Crack is basically an estuary in the Run of Kutch region on Gujarat on the Indian side and Sindh on the Pakistani side. The issue is regarding the uh, interpretation of the international maritime boundary between both the countries. Now, if I talk about the trade between both the countries, until 1965, India was Pakistan's largest trading partner. But due to the deteriorating relationship between both the countries, the trade volume went down to a very minuscule level. And after the Pulwama attack, India withdrew the status of most favorable nation from Pakistan and also increased the custom duty on Pakistan to 200%. And in turn, Pakistan closed its airspace for India. Now, there are various areas of cooperation between both the countries. Like an example of it is
Last
that
30
the
seconds.
example of it is the Indian pilgrims can travel to the Gurudwara Darbar Sahib in Pakistan using the Kartarpur corridor, that too visa free. Also, both the countries are part of the SARC and SCO. Further, for meaningful engagement between both the nations, the cross border terrorism has to stop as the talks and the terrorism can't go hand in hand. Also, to deal with the terrorism from Pakistani
Time
side,
up.
India should keep on mounting international pressure on Pakistan as well as regional pressure as well. And India and Pakistan, in my opinion, I would like to conclude that they have and will continue to have tense relationships among themselves in also the foreseeable future. And the tensions can only be removed with the help of bilateral ties, only and only when a conducive environment is provided. Thank you.
Okay, Gayatri, important topic. In some or other way, you will be required to speak about Pakistan related issues. We all are aware that India and Pakistan has got very bad relations historically. Since the time of independence, we never had good relations. Every time the governments tried to improve, there were disturbances, especially from Pakistan side, because there is not a single power center in Pakistan. Not a single legitimate government could complete 5 years of democratic rule. These are the biggest symptoms and signs that Pakistan, as long as has no legitimate democratic government in power for 5 years, we cannot achieve that bilateral bonhomie, the good relations. It will always be Pakistan army or some fringe elements, some tanzims, terrorist organizations. these will create rift between two nations. Whether it is Shimla Karar, whether it is Indus Water Treaty, whether it is Lahore Bus Yatra, whether it is Agra Summit, every time both the sides wanted to come together, resolve the issues, but it will not be possible unless and until all players come together in Pakistan, announce that this is our representation body. Today, who is the representative body in Pakistan? It is not clear. For very, very small time, we can see a government is doing something substantial, and immediately you see the power going out of hand and reaching out to Pakistan armies um, fold. That is the problem, and this is how the international relations are problematic, especially with India. And 1971 war, the defeat, the humiliation, the surrender part, or whatever, these humiliating memories of Pakistan army are the real reasons that they will never accept friendship relation. They are in a revenge mode, and that is how they are sponsoring terrorism. The epitome of it, or the misadventure, uh, classic misadventure from their side was Kargil episode. They planned it in most notorious way. So this is how our relations have been, and it is difficult to improve. What Gayatri was trying to conclude. It requires a lot of efforts from the both sides. India has always been trying, including the Prime Minister landing suddenly, showing the friendship gesture, and meeting the opposite side Prime Minister, reaching out to his home. These are good gestures, a step towards friendship, but it was never reciprocated the same way because of other players who are operating there. Maybe government at times wanted to establish peace, have good economical development in Pakistan, because Pakistan as such is struggling economically. Today it is under heavy debt. It is almost going to become economic slave to China and other big powers because of so much of debt. Especially China is uh, lending so much of money. Debt trap is happening. What happened with Sri Lanka? Same, I think Pakistan will face now very soon. And other natural calamities, this that keeps on going on, like recent floods in Pakistan has created havoc. Okay, good Gayatri. Little bit you can uh, look after the time management. 3 minutes by 10 seconds is okay. Second is good. You spoke little formal language. If you can repeat it, good. And you can give opinions the way you gave in the end. That is acceptable, and it is almost desired that you express your own opinion and natural feelings on such topics. Okay, good. Jay, ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gayatri, keep time.
Yes, sir. Just a second. You can start.
Okay. Good evening to one and all. Today's my lecture topic is cryptocurrency. A cryptocurrency is a digital currency. It is designed by to work as a medium of the medium of an medium of an exchange through by computer network by the central authorities such as government or bank to uphold or maintain it. The in the system of that the parties have the transaction have the money they can claim the coin ownership records and stored in the digital ledgers with the help of the computerized database by using the strong cryptography to secure the transactions records. The cryptocurrency are not considered to be the currencies in the traditional sense. Some of the crypto schemes use two validators to maintain the cryptocurrency in the in a proof of the stocks model owners but of their tokens and the collateral cryptocurrencies does not exist in the physical form as like money. Each cryptocurrency works through it serves as a public financial transactions database. And the cryptocurrency was not the Bitcoin, which first released as the open source software in 2009. As the March 2022, as the March 2022, there was more than the 9,000 other cryptocurrencies in the marketplace, which is more than 17 had the market capitalizations in 1 billion in 1 billion. In 15 September 2022, Walter Billy David has the long awaited cryptocurrencies in their traditional assets classics like currencies, committed, and the stocks, as well as mar- macroeconomics factors have modest exposures to the cryptocurrencies returns. Thank you.
Okay, Jay, a little difficult, complex topic you have taken, but it is the latest talk of the environment, cryptocurrency. A very, very different world we are likely to enter very soon in terms of paperless economy. We are talking as of now digital economy, and this is a step further in terms of cryptocurrency, where probably world will change. Maybe big time setbacks will happen because we will be too dependent on technology and online platform. People's possession of currency will be in terms of digital records. It will be a paperless currency. It will be some digital records and some form of economic transactions which presently very few are able to visualize in its totality. Governments are afraid of this thing, and that is why many countries are still apprehensive about giving green signal to these measures. India is also one of them. We are also preparing ourselves for this crypto world, cryptocurrency, but we will need a lot of homework, a lot of technology in terms of its robustness. Because if everything is dependent on technology or internet domain, you never know what kind of manipulation will happen. Hacking is there, and so many sabotage and espionage kind of threats are there. Anything which is remotely operable and remotely controlled is susceptible to a lot of vulnerabilities. And before going for this kind of currencies and platforms and economics, probably countries have to be well prepared. Today, maybe the big houses and big countries who has got their own servers and domains and has the confidence of entering into it, people are entering into it. But the developing world will take time, and it is correct to take time because people have already started experiencing the threats which are possible online. Today, with a click of button, so many hacking and corruptions and looting is happening, especially in economic sense or in terms of money, cyber crimes, money related cyber crimes. There are so many crores of rupees. Even if you take only India's case, many cases are unregistered today. People are generally giving it away because nobody has got time. But a lot of frauds are happening, especially from the cyber platform. Fake calls, some manipulation, some fraud links. You click on it and you are getting manipulated, your accounts are hacked, or some kind of fraud transactions. And every day, crores of rupees fraud transactions are happening. Imagine if the bank mediator is moved away because cryptocurrency ultimately is going to be an independent thing. Directly you are dealing, no mediator is there, bank is not there. So whom to rely on, whom to contact then? It is straightway two individuals transacting, and it is a different world. So let's see how things unfold. But as the world is moving, as the technology is getting advanced, we all need to understand it and be prepared because if progress is going that way, perforce we will also get prepared for moving in that direction with calculated steps. Okay, Jay, confidence, further confidence is required today. Maybe your voice was not opening up, maybe some throat related problem or something, but just every time feel that you are speaking with reasonable confidence. The sentence formation, a lot of improvement is there. You are naturally speaking now without reading, so that is a good sign. Practice more. Okay, Jay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now who is ready? Sanjeevani, Pratik, Subodh.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go to Pratik first. Jay, keep time.
Okay.
Can I, can I
You can
start?
start now. Yeah, yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Today, my topic is dowry system. The dowry system in India refers to the durable goods, cash, and real or movable property that the bride's family give to the groom's family. Dowry is given in generally in the payment of cash, jewelry, and other household items that help the newlyweds settle their home. The dowry system puts a lot of burden on the bride's family. In some cases, the dowry system leads to crime against women, ranging from emotional abuse and injury even to deaths. The payment of dowry has been prohibited under specific Indian laws, including the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, approved by the Parliament of India. Although Indian laws against dowries have been in effect for decades, they have been largely criticized for as being ineffective. The practice of dowry deaths and murders continues to take unchecked in many parts of India. The traces of dowry system in India was seen in the Vedic age, where it was common for the upper caste Hindus, that is the Brahmins. Now let's look over the major impacts of dowry system. Gender discrimination. Due to the dowry system, many times the women are seen as a liability, which is highly unethical, affecting career of women. The larger context for the practice of dowry is the poor presence of women in the workforce and their consequent lack of financial independence. Many women end up being unmarried as their families cannot afford to give dowry to the groom's family. Contemporary dowry is more like an investment by the bride's family for plugging into powerful connections and money making opportunities. Now, let's look at some ways that we can do to reduce the dowry system. Social evil like dowry cannot eradicate itself unless the people carry the philosophy behind the law. No law can be enforced without the wholehearted cooperation of people. Educating girls. Education and independence is one powerful gift that parents can give to their daughters. Providing the daughters with a solid education and encouraging her to pursue a career of her choice is the best dowry any parent can give a daughter. Lastly, I would like to conclude my topic by saying the practice of dowry is not only illegal but also unethical. Therefore, the conscience of society needs to be fully awakened to the evils of dowry system so that the demand for dowry itself should lead to the loss of faith in society for those who demand it. Thank you.
Okay, timekeeping, I missed it. Jay, how much time? Okay, Jay is not able to hear. Okay, no issue. Good, Pratik, you covered it well, especially the point revolving around ethical versus illegal. So it is neither ethical nor a correct mean. So it is illegal, and the ethics part, yes, it was correct way of putting across. We are human beings and we must go for ethical things. We must have equal treatment for all. And just because of this dowry system, the girls or the baby girls were not desired, daughters were not desired because it adds burden, what Pratik was highlighting. But how these things get removed from society as the society develops, society gets educated. So ultimately, it is the development around us, education around us, which will make us aware of good and bad, moving with the time. Look for the developed world. You see, Western world, they don't have any differentiation of boys versus girl. The marriage system is quite fair. In our part of the world, as the families are getting developed, Some sections of society are developed, so they are following good practices, ethical practices. Even single child or daughter families are contented. They are okay with one child, that is daughter. There are many people now welcome the daughters in their home. This is a good sign. This is a sign of development, and we are slowly getting into that sphere of good, ethical, developed society. Some problems over a period of time they came in, they were not there earlier. If you check historically, we had Swayamvar system. Girls were having choice. In fact, there was competition. So this kind of culture was totally 180-degree opposite to a dowry system where girl is at receiving end and some money is to be paid or some things are to be paid in kind, materialistic things and all those things. So maybe somewhere in down the history, some practices emerged. They were good, bad, both category. Today, in a developed society, developed world where the internet age is there, so much of openness is there, the democratic setups are there, where every person has got equal opportunities. Forget about people. We are even treating good animal kingdom. We are talking about animal rights also. So there is no question of denying the equality to human beings. So boys or girls both deserve rightful living and honorable living. So this dowry system is a curse. Any society which is still following, practicing dowry kind of culture cannot be labeled as a developed society. So if we want to become a powerful nation, such ill practices should be done away. Then only we can be counted as a developed nation. We will be respected at World Forum. And as long as such poor, the outdated, illegal, unethical practices are there, we cannot take that pride and honor of being developed and a much powerful nation. Okay, good, Pratik. Confidence is good, and overall the content was also good. Keep it up. Okay, Sanjivani, ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Pratik, keep time.
Okay, sir. You may start.
Okay, good evening to all. Today, my lecture topic is Naxalism domestic problem in India. Political conflict is an unavoidable part of any and every place. India faces similar kind of situation among its numerous domestic problem. One of the oldest is Naxalism. Naxalist is an any person political active element to have the legacy of communist party of the India or India. The term Naxal originated from villages Naxalbari in West Bengal in 1967. When the initial step of Naxal movement were laid down, the movement belonged in the form of an uprising in 1967 by the section of Communist Party under the headship of Charu, Kanu, Sangal and Jangas Santhal. The movement arose as a section and partially treated due to certain minorities such as Dalit and Adivasi. The failure of Constitution of India to implement fifth and sixth standard, the limitations from the tribal autonomy, the lack of concern of India to unlike its bigger section. Poverty, economical inequality, underdevelopment of Naxal region, treated to livelihood, forest and land of the tribal people. Lack of basic facilities such as education, food sanitation, and discretion of the land water resources due to the mini become the major cases of Naxal movement. In 1971, Naxal gained strength when student in Calcutta left university to join Naxalism. Then the West Bengal Chief Minister Siddhartha Shankar issued strict countermeasure to the step of Naxalism. At that time, in same year, Indira Gandhi enforced counter of Operation Struggle whenever by the hundred of Naxalism were killed and to 20,000 were imprisoned. The movement again gained in since year 2000, and since then and of fights between the tribal Naxalism and Indian government as a and continuously. Then the all through Indian government try
Time.
certain places, but the law and order attack are not a solution to this problem. So lastly, I want to conclude that government needs to ensure two things. First is security of the place, peace and loving people, and the development of the nationalism affected region. Center and state should continue with their coordinate effect in the development and security of both were center of both, while central should play a supportive role with the state police force through this line. Thank you.
Okay, Sanjivani. Again, important topic, Naxalism, which is again related to some kind of social development index. If society is not having access to good facilities or mainstream people, if they are not included in the mainstream, probably that is how such kind of things happen. When some sections of society feel deprived of access to many latest things, when the country is moving in one direction but not everybody is on board, that is how there is some uprising, not in correct sense but in a wrong sense, because this uprising is not for very desirable causes. These are against the government, which will affect the normal development pace, which may cause casualties, which may disturb the growth of the nation, which affects the GDP, because some factors are pulling down the good factors. And Naxalism, when it was at peak, what we keep saying those key words, red corridor, which is for Naxalism, this word is used because it is something like Lal Salam. All these words are associated with r- the red corridor or the Naxalism. People from the um, tribal areas or the people from mainly jungle belts, when they felt that their terrain, their localities are getting captured or they are getting exploited, they are not being looked in a correct way, and their exploitation, this communication that they are being exploited, and this fear led to some kind of misinterpretation rising against the government and supported by these corruption issues. If the local politicians, the business personals are exploiting the poor ones or the tribal ones, and that is how these issues get escalated. Some bad elements, organizations will fuel such disgruntled people, and these disgruntled, unhappy, or the people who are willing to rise against government then get support from anti-national organizations. Even across the border, people come and help through some mediatories, and this is exactly we saw. We even saw with these Naxalites some foreign weapons, rocket launchers, some kind of arms and ammunition. What does it indicate? It is actually getting good support from across the border, whether it is from the Myanmar side, whether it is from Pakistan side, or straightway from China. In terms of money, in terms of weapons, both these supports are to neutralize our growth, to pull down our growth, because it is easy to fight across the border. It is difficult to fight your own people. And this is exactly the subconventional warfare is all about. You make your own people to rise within. the hinterland, and that creates problem for government. It is not easy. You cannot launch army against your own people. It is a sensitive thing. These are misguided people. They need to be taken on board. They need to be told and convinced that government is for them. Development is happening for them. It may take time, but don't take weapons in hand. And that is how in 2008-9 period we saw 220 districts getting influenced under this red corridor from Pashupati in Nepal till Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. This belt from northeast to southwest, this kind of alignment in the geographic sense was a big challenge. Now things are under control to some extent. I will not say it is completely neutralized. Naxalists are still active. Most of them are surrendering, but some kind of small incidents are still happening, and that is the cause of worry. Very important topic. Security forces need to understand these topics from all dimensions. It is not just fighting and killing, it is understanding the emotions, the reasons. Unless you understand the root causes, you will not be able to solve it. That is why we need to study it. Okay, good, Sanjeevani. More confidence is required today. The rhythm was not up to the mark. Last time it was good. And something was missing today, Sanjeevani. Okay, maybe the focus was not there. It did not come up to the mark. Your standard has come up, so that was just below it. Sanjeevani,
Yes, sir.
hmm? Not in a good rhythm. Mood is not good.
Sir, actually, I was very tired.
Okay,
Just come in office and
okay,
join lecture.
okay, no issue. Who is
Yes, sir.
there now? Subodh ready? Then Abhaya.
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Okay, Sanjeevani, keep time. Then last speaker will be Abhaya.
Yes, sir. It has starts.
Good evening. My lecture topic is Golden Triangle. So, what is Golden Triangle? Golden Triangle is basically the connection of three cities, that is New Delhi, Jaipur, and Agra. Basically, the Golden Triangle is a project which we connect these three historical cities to boost up our tourism. If I talk about the tourism from the historical point of view and giving one example, most of the people, foreigners, visited India and they took a very brief history, a very vast history of India with them. Just like if I give example of one of them, that is Pahen visited India and he learned a lot of things regarding Buddhism in India. And he also took and he also wrote some of the observations that which he was observed in India and he took with him. So this shows that how tourism boosted not only in current situation but also it was there in our ancient times also. After 1947, India developed a lot, and we ranked among the sixth most World Heritage Site in the world, having almost 40 World Heritage Site in India. India ranked sixth in the world regarding the World Heritage UNESCO's World Heritage List. We have a lot of heritage sites. We have the birthplace of Lord Ram. We have the birthplace of Lord Gautam Buddha, and similar kinds of projects are going on. If I talk about the projects regarding tourism, recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the train which connects all the important cities where Lord Ram went, as well as in the if I talk about the current scenario, India has signed a cultural and religious ties with Nepal to build a monastery in Lumbini, that is the birthplace of Buddhism. So if I talk about the tourism, so tourism not only gives us information about the historical places, but it also connects people culturally, because culturally and religiously. Because if what happens when we boost up our tourism, so definitely foreigners will come and there will be a cultural exchange. Not only that, if I talk about the means previous hinder previous developments and the previous development and this development means the era's development which helps the tourism boosting is the connectivity. With the help of the aeroplanes and with the help of the helicopters, we are now able to reach to the places which are not accessible, just like Udan scheme and the newly launched Heli Summit, which was
inaugurated by the Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia in Uttarakhand.
Last 30 seconds.
These are the schemes which will definitely help to boost the tourism. And according to my opinion, I think that Golden Triangle should be in each and every part of the country because it will boost the tourism. And if our tourism will boost, so definitely foreigners will come and there will be cultural exchange. And it is one of the important platform to showcase the India's Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means India's Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and how Indian people welcomes their guest, and it is a
Time
thing
up.
which is so heritage to the foreigners that what what lives in the Indian subcontinent in the ancient times. Thank you.
Okay, good, Subodh. Maybe a little tough topic, little unusual, but this is also SSB card topic. Golden Triangle in Indian context. At world level, it is different. Something related to Myanmar, Laos, something. Uh, Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. Just because these three dots you can see on a map as a triangle, and that is how it is a golden triangle. Country has to become big. It has to develop. So small pockets, small concepts we need to develop. This is tourism related or some kind of uh, all network development related golden triangle or the quadrangle you must have heard. That is how we develop road, rail, some kind of tourist places, and people get attracted. It becomes a little popular. These are the terminologies which actually gives boost, some kind of enthusiasm to the people and environment, and we develop it in a good sense. Like we hear some roads named Samruddhi Mahamarg or the some kind of sea link and some big routes, bullet trains. These concepts actually gives special status to it, some kind of honorable attachment, and the people working on such projects also feel proud. But now coming to little tourism angle to Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, this is historically so relevant. Delhi, as such, you see the history and the number of historical places in Delhi or in Jaipur or Agra per se, Taj Mahal, and small other heritage sites. All these things are important. We need to promote it. So maybe this golden triangle from tourism angle plus the development, infrastructure development, train, rail, air, all these developments are important. We have Shatabdi Express. Erstwhile, Shatabdi was a big pride, Rajdhani and Shatabdi. Now it is more of such categories, including the bullet train concept which is going to come, or the metros. All these things are part of development. They give us pride, and it is sad irony that we have so many heritage related things, and yet we are yet to explore it to the fullest sense. If you see, there are many unexplored heritage sites. To some extent, Agra is well explored. World knows it, but there are many other aspects. Especially, I remember coincidentally the present Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chavan, had taken one presentation when he was our GOC. He covered all the historical sites in Delhi. It was probably his daughter was working on that project, and it's interesting thing to see that there are so many heritage sites within Delhi, and people don't know many of them. Some notable ones people are aware. It is documented, well documented, but there are many small sites within Delhi. So you count all over India, every place has got some relevance, some kind of heritage, historical significance. We need to really promote it, explore it, and tourism obviously will bring more economy, jobs, and pride. Okay, good. Subodh, impromptu, you have spoken spontaneously, and considering that, it was good. Confidence is good. Yes, topic content wise, I think something more can be read and covered. ओके गुड डोंट गेट
Yes,
कंफ्यूज
sir.
गोल्डन ट्रायंगल वर्ल्ड लेवल पे कुछ और है हाँ इंडियन कंटेक्स्ट में ही हैज पिक्ड अप एंड स्पोकन ओके अभय रेडी
Yes, sir.
ओके सुबोध कीप टाइम
Yes, sir.
You can start.
So, good evening, everyone. My today's lecture topic is child. Child marriage is a very responsible and sacred way of nothing. Sacred way of uniting two peoples who mature and ready to accept each other. But child marriage is something that is really unethical way of uniting people who are not only immature but also does not understand the real responsibilities. That is, there are two primary reasons for child marriage is lack of education and poverty. The applying consequences of child marriage include pregnancy related deaths and child mother not able to provide proper impact care and subjected to the domestic violence. Will at the one side, everyone is trying to make most out of the our nation's growth. At the other side, it's too much annoying to that things how children are getting mislead to the this responsibilities life at their responsible life at their childhood. So uh, Indian laws has in Indian minimum age of 18 for girls and 21 for boys to legally get married. This law was passed due to the increasing responsibility of child marriage in India. Although government take a law in excellence of since is 1929 to protect a child from child marriage in India, uh, every citizens country has every citizen in this country has a role to protect and upload the future of citizens that now children many children government programs such as apni beti apna dhan, which is translated like my daughter my wealth, focus on delaying the child marriage in India. Child marriage in India were considered as way of saving the child from abuses and other difficulties they face from outside world. But on other hand, child marriage is a real spoiler of kids' childhood. They get on which handling more responsibilities. Then they face many more problems. Even know about many
Last 30
cases
seconds.
have been responsible against the child marriage. So lastly, I just want to say, uh, if we want to solve this problem, child marriage, we should educate the both parents and children. They to independent first, and then take and choose the good partner for life. The child of
Time
today
up.
are the future of tomorrow, and they must be provide proper knowledge and education in order to build a strong nation. And it's time to put an end to the child marriage. Thank you.
Okay, Abhaya, what was exactly the topic? Child marriage?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because you can have different phrases also: child marriage solutions and remedies and actions, uh, social evil. Child marriage is a social evil, actually. We have already spoken a little bit about dowry system. Now coming to another social topic, that is child marriage, is a big issue. Slowly it is getting automatically corrected when the children are getting educated. Parents are also now feeling comfortable with appropriate age of marriage. Otherwise, rural India was little non-cooperative on this subject, because these are all interlinked issues. When dowry system or the society is not mature, so people take girls especially as a burden, and getting rid of this burden is marriage, handing over this responsibility to another family, or getting a socially um accepted format, that is marriage. Once a girl is married, orthodox thinking is okay, now she is protected, she is now settled in life. And these all orthodox thinking maybe was relevant in mm, little bit history. Today education has changed everything. Girls and boys both are having equal opportunities. Both are now enjoying the education. Now both the genders are competing for higher posts in every sector. Talent wise, no discrimination. There is no uh, cyclosome thing that boys are good in this and girls are not. This is not the case. So that is why we see engineers, doctors, scientists, every field. You see, shoulder to shoulder, both the genders are working. Even the girls are proving that they are desperate for success. They are desperate to prove their worth, especially in the challenging fields, including defense. You can bring such relevant things in SSB's forum that even defense sector is open for girls. These are the signs that progressive society will automatically get rid of this child marriage issue, which is a social evil. During our medieval time, or when there was some kind of atrocities or some kind of exploitation, and some threats were there, especially for the female sections of the society. This probably was a escape route. That is why a simple segment of society, that is a common man, was adopting to child marriage concept. You see, in a typical sense, what was child marriage? Engaging a girl and boy. So it was just merely fixing the marriage in the initial stage, right at the age of 5, 6, 8, and thereafter, after a couple of years, you get the formal marriage done. From that concept till actual child marriage happening, a girl is moving to the other house in a very, very premature stage. So all those things we study in history, we see it, and even today in remotest part of the country, to some extent, before the appropriate age, marriages are happening. That is sad, but slowly it will get over because most of the India now is well covered. Media is there. Internet has reached. Girls are now claiming their rights. Even parents are feeling responsible for following the rules and norms of the marriage provisions and the recent marriage age, which is fixed. Now everyone feels like it is an appropriate age. In fact, in the more developed societies, it is the late marriage which is a problem. Appropriate age marriage is something which is difficult to follow by the backward society and advanced society. Both things are extremes. And late marriage has got its own connotations, own problems. Early marriage has got its own biological and other social problems. So the appropriate age is a typical thing. Maybe another 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line, the way we are talking on child marriage, people will talk on late marriage when the society will be too developed and because of jobs or because of other things, people are marrying late. Or maybe a step further, no marriages. People are, maybe it has just started. The generations which are coming now are not really ready to get married. They don't want to get tied down to responsibilities. And maybe another 30 years down the line, the way we are talking on competitive exams forum, child marriage, dowry system, these will be in a different versions. Who knows? Late marriages, no marriages, dowry system getting reversed. In some parts of the country today, as on date, the dowry is reversed. There are people who are paying money for getting girls. We will not say it is buying, but it is a dowry in a reverse order. These are the things we are witnessing now. But these are all social problems. Society has to deal with it, correct it, and through rules and regulations and some maturity, good ethical practices, we need to get rid of these all social evils and have correct practices in our society. Then only we can be a proud nation. We will have peace and social harmony within our society if everything is the way it should be. Okay, any points from anyone? I keep taking topic to another dimension, because you all should discuss it, have an open mind. Comment about Abhaya. Abhaya topic, so I commented from the subject point of view. But I found rhythm was not there, Abhaya. Maybe lack of practice. In fact, it took some seconds
Yeah,
for me to understand topic. Maybe the same case with others. What exactly was the topic? Because it was not coming up in the initial part, and then the rhythm got set somehow. So lack of practice. What is the schedule nowadays, Abhaya?
so actually from 11 to 3, my internship is there, sir. Then
Hmm.
after I'm practicing a modeling course.
Only suggestion to all of you, including Abhaya, have your conversations in daytime with your friends, with your teachers, wherever you can, or your with family members also. In English, in systematic way, putting across points, some kind of systematic structures, logical reasoning when you talk. Have a habit of communication in systematic way. You can choose topic with friends. Okay, I'll speak on this. So that is how a natural tone will set. Your confidence will grow. And why not to follow these things as long as you are getting fixed for any placement, whether it is defense or any other service. So till the time you are going through interview phase and all those things, you must practice in that direction and keep doing it. More and more you do, you will be more confident and comfortable, and it will come naturally. Then how to put across points, putting it in a systematic way, rhythm will set, structure will be very very natural. You will come over a topic in a very very logical manner. It will happen automatically. So develop that habit in your routine conversations. Do it as far as possible, at least 15 minutes, 20 minutes conversations with your friends or family, or wherever possible. Do it. College or at home or in your leisurely times, wherever possible. Okay. So we will end here. Lecture it. We must utilize this forum opportunity to speak, express, and check our standard of confidence, communication skill, English, and the content part, how exactly it comes out when you speak under little bit stress. Though virtual platform is not giving the entire 100% stress to you, or that typical environment of SSB lecture it, but at least some kind of uh, forum which we are creating will help you. Like Subodh was agreeing that day that when he landed in SSB, he was comfortable in speaking, lecturate, even in group discussion. So that is how you set your mental tuning for communication. Okay, we will end here. Have a good time. Bye. Jai Hind.
Then,
Jai
sir,
Hind, sir.